Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show today. I'm really glad you could join us today. We are diving down into the trenches to talk about some of the coolest strategies, tips, tactics that you need to know when it comes to real estate investing. And with us today is really one of the foremost experts on the topic, Engelo Rumora. Now, Engelo is the real estate dingo, is easily the most energized Australian man on the planet. He's a successful property investor, motivational speaker, and serial entrepreneur who quit school at the age of 14 and played professional soccer at age 28. Got to talk to him more about that because my kids love soccer. Today, Engelo has been involved in well over 500 real estate deals, equating to over $50 million worth of transactions, along with successfully founding and running 5 businesses in Ohio, giving houses away to those in need, and publishing his upcoming book, The Raw Truth to Success in Real Estate. Engelo's philosophy has brought his most successful businesses thus far, Ohio Cashflow, to the 2018 Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in the country. There, Engelo and his team specialize in providing turnkey properties in the Toledo market while emphasizing quality over quantity and building long-term relationships with their investors. Engelo's newest and soonest to be the most prominent venture is his List'n Sell Realty, a real estate brokerage also based in Toledo, Ohio. List'n Sell Realty's mission is to revolutionize the way that all real estate transactions are done with a completely virtual experience for buyers, sellers, and real estate agents. Engelo, welcome to the show, man. I'm glad you could join me.
Hi, you must be out of breath, mate. Jeez. What a intro, mate. I love it. Hey, it's a pleasure being on your show. Thanks for having me. And let's go down under, baby. Let's get it started. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, me too. We both have a lot of energy, so this should be a lot of fun. So a lot of people here, we got a lot of real estate investors that follow the show, and some of them are just kind of getting into this. So, it's interesting because I see some of the stuff that you teach, you almost kind of promote that newbies kind of have an advantage when it comes to real estate investing. So give me some insight on there. What, if any, advantages do kind of newbies do this real estate investing game potentially have?
Oh, wow, mate. You've kind of put me on the spot there. Newbies. Look, I guess the advantage that newbies would have is just a fresh start. You know what I mean? Because you don't really know that much when you're starting your real estate endeavors. Okay, so you haven't really been in the trenches. And for someone like myself that's been pounding the pavement for 10 years now, what sometimes tends to happen, mate, is you kind of tend to get burnt out, right? Because real estate and business in general is a roller coaster of a ride. There are a lot of things that will happen throughout your career, and a lot of them positive, a lot of them negative, and they all have their impact. So, for someone that's just looking to get started in real estate, the beautiful thing for them is they lack that impact. They don't have any bruises and scars yet, like someone more experienced. So I guess, it could be an advantage, but it could also be a disadvantage. But, for everyone out there that's looking to start their real estate endeavors, the number one piece of advice that I would have is that, forget about talent, because talent has nothing to do with your success in real estate. Success in real estate, mate, is truly going to come down to how many times you can get hit and how many times you're going to pick yourself back up and keep moving forward. Nothing beats hard work, dude. I am absolutely living proof of that, mate. I quit school at a very young age. I've got no formal education. My staff laughs their asses off at me because when I type on my laptop, it looks like a Chinese chef making chop suey. Okay, it's the funniest thing ever. My math skills suck, so thank God for the calculator. I can hardly read. Don't even ask me about writing. Like, my signature looks like a doctor's signature. It's disgusting. But once again, I've done so many transactions. I run a lot of companies. We made the Inc. 5000 list, and super humbled to be where I am today. And the only reason to that success is pure hard work, mate. I've been pounding the pavement for a very long time. Grunt work, I get it done 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., mate. Whatever it takes, I never give up. So,
well, and speaking of that, newbies' advantages and disadvantages and hard work, one of the things you talk about a lot is also partnering, for somebody that's getting into this game to actually partner with somebody. So do you think that's an effective strategy for somebody to come into real estate investing and to partner in some which way or form with somebody that has that kind of knowledge experience, that has been in the trenches per se for, 10 years?
It is, but that's a very touchy subject, okay? And I'll explain why. I've had a lot of sour prior relationships when it comes to employees and business partners. And summarizing why is pretty easy. You can't have two cooks in the kitchen, right? Simple kind of terminology, because every cook has their own style or way of wanting to prepare the meal or the dish or whatever, right? That's a pretty cool analogy, by the way. I'm proud of myself with that one. No, but look, I guess my belief when it comes to partnering with someone in real estate is someone has to pony up the money and get out of your business, and then you have to pony up the sweat equity. So roll up your sleeves, get down and dirty, and do the work. Both of you can't do the same things. Like, I think that, if I was to partner with someone nowadays, I don't really need to partner with anyone anymore because I've got the experience, I've got the knowledge, I've got the capital. If I was to partner with someone, I would just pretty much say, look, give me the cash and get out of my business and let me do my thing, and you will get a return on investment. Or vice versa, Ty. I would give them the cash and get out of their business, and I would get them to do their thing because, I don't want to do the work. Like, I'm happy to come up with the funds and not do any of the work. So that's kind of how I could see a partnership working out. Another thing too, you mentioned beginners there. The best way to learn, dude, is to brush shoulders with someone out there that is doing the work and that is doing it very successfully. You are who you're with, the old saying, right? If you hang out with successful people, they're going to pull you up with them. So, you probably won't be able to partner with someone that's a lot more experienced and successful than you are. But dude, wash their bloody car, clean their shoes, take their shirts to the dry cleaner, whatever it takes. Just, get a hold of them, get close to them, pick their brain. So that's another way where, some of their magic can rub off on you.
Yeah, I like that. I love it. Any particular things? So I like the strategy because what you're saying is, look, know what you bring to the table. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's the fact that you're a really hard worker, and then find somebody that has as a potential partner. If you're going to look for a partner, somebody that doesn't have those things, somebody that brings to the table something else. Anything else specifically in that case when it comes to partnerships that you should be looking for to make sure you don't make the wrong choice when it comes to partner?
Yes. Thanks for leading me. Into this one, mate. Success in real estate and in business is not a one-night stand. Okay, it's a marriage. So you have to like each other. You have to respect each other. You have to have the same bigger picture and vision in mind in order for that relationship or partnership to last. Okay, nothing happens overnight, mate. I'm sure you're aware of that. You've got a lot of success in your endeavors, and it takes time to get to where you need to be. So, same as real estate, it's going to take 5, 10, or 15 years to build a large real estate portfolio. So why would you want to jump into a partnership just on a one-off transaction? I mean, there should be some kind of ongoing residual business until the extended future, right? Or till the unforeseen future. So it's very important that, you take your time and you're patient, and you truly only work with people that you believe there is going to be potential to work together for a very long time. As in getting married, right? You're not getting married for a year, mate. You're getting married forever. And to be honest with you, I think that should be the same for business.
Well, what do you think? You've been very successful in this space, right? $50 million plus in transactions, probably plus. So let me ask you this. What kind of is your overall general investing strategy? Because we see a lot of people do fix and flips. We see a lot of people, they'll do buy and hold, right? We see a lot of people that get the money they need to buy. Some others borrow the money. Some others kind of go to the owners and get them to finance and work out a deal directly with the owner. What kind of strategy do you follow that's made you so successful?
This is very advanced, Ty, because we've kind of really figured our shit out, right? I guess 10 years of working in the industry does that to you, right? But so I'm going to try and make it snappy for you here. Our kind of bread and butter is we buy distressed properties in Toledo, Ohio. We fix them up to a great standard. Our in-house property management company gets them tenanted. and then we sell them to investors that live in markets where they can't get a good return on investment because property prices are too expensive, or they just have no interest in dealing with the headaches of owning an investment property. Okay. So that is where we make a lump sum cash profit on every exit that we have on an individual basis. We do around 10 deals per month. It's around 120 a year, give or take. Then we also have residual income from the property management aspect, because when we sell these turnkey properties to investors, we retain the in-house property management just to ensure the ongoing success of all of our investors, which 99% of them are out of state or out of country. Then we also like to keep our clients or investors in the entire business loop. So if it ever comes down to potentially selling out of their portfolio or selling out of their asset, we also have a brokerage company which is happy to assist them on the exit side of the business. So that's kind of the entire operational side of things that we've got going on from a business standpoint. From a personal standpoint, dude, like I am a little bit crazy when it comes to that, because I've got personal investments in single family homes, multifamily property. I've got money in money market accounts. I'm looking to potentially buy some stocks when everything tanks, which I feel could be coming up soon, because we are kind of at the peak of the cycle. So every 10 to 15 years or so, we do have a downturn. I also have oil investments. Just finished writing a book, so there's probably going to be some royalties from that. So a true entrepreneur at heart, mate. I've got many irons in the fire. I'm always looking at doing deals. I'm always looking at making things happen. So yeah, but ultimately everything is pretty much real estate based or on the real estate concept. Even my oil investment, I bought into a fund where I was able to acquire shares at a significant discount to what the actual land value was. So I was late money, so I bought at a discount. So once again, there's a real estate component even to my oil investment.
So your specialty is really dealing with distressed properties. So along that line, what are some of the best tips that you have for dealing with and finding the best distressed properties to really want to invest in?
Great question, mate. And I like to joke around and say, Ty, check your pocket. Is there a deal there? Like, leave no stone unturned, mate. You know what I mean? I remember my first year in business, we bought 36 properties off of Craigslist. Like, who the hell buys properties off Craigslist? You know what I mean? It's like, how's that possible? And look, it's what we did. We stalked Craigslist every day. We were very proactive with going through the listings, inspecting the properties, and ponying up the cash to buy them. Facebook is a great tool too. There's a lot of real estate Facebook groups for distressed properties. Sending out direct mailers, yellow letter campaigns, they're fantastic. Submitting a lot of offers on the MLS, working with wholesalers, bird dogs, institutions that buy in bulk and liquidate on an individual basis. Once again, mate, leave no stone unturned. When it comes to finding a deal, you kind of have to cast a wide net, and eventually you will catch some fish. My advice to everyone looking at getting into real estate, wholesaling, buying, fixing, and flipping, buying and holding, whatever it is, start off slow, start off small. Okay. Don't fall for the BS that you see on TV and all of those pretty blondes and good looking dudes flipping houses. That's all a lie. It's fake. It's not true. I've already done the research on all of their numbers. None of it is accurate. Real estate is not supposed to be pretty type. It's supposed to be profitable. Some of my best transactions were the ones where I didn't even see a house to pick up a hammer. I signed the HUD and made 20 grand, right? And those are the best deals. So it doesn't have to be sexy. You just have to make money. But look, once again, just going back into my advice for everyone, start off slow and start off small. The least amount of capital that you invest, the lower your risk is going to be. Find the property that you're able to buy very, very cheap, because you're going to negotiate hard. You're going to be patient, and that just needs a cosmetic rehab, right? Don't go into any ridiculous subdivisions, extensions, structural renovations. Like, just buy a property where you replace the basic stuff, list it on the market, and get it sold as quickly as you can. And whatever profit you make, consider it a learning experience. And then when you do your second deal, third, fourth, fifth, and then when you get to your 1,000th one, by the way, I know in the intro you said I've done 500 deals. Dude, I stopped counting at 500, mate. I don't even know how many I've done now. But you will learn. You'll probably make mistakes, but learn on those mistakes and pick yourself back up once again and just keep moving forward, mate. So
I love the strategy, cast a wide net. And what you're saying is, look, there's a silver bullet. I'm doing 10, 15 different things to be able to find the right property. So let's say you find the right property. from your standpoint, what makes it the good investment? Is it how much money you could make? Is it what you just said? Is it the amount of work you could do in finding the least amount of work? Is it a combination of both and more factors? Like in your mind, when you look at it and you go, oh yeah, that's a killer deal. What makes it a killer deal in your mind?
Great question, mate. Great question. Very, very simple, dude. Look at the numbers. Only the numbers. Forget about how pretty the fence is. Okay, I don't care if your wife loves the kitchen and you love the freaking garage. It's not about what you love. It's about how much money you can make on that transaction. Okay, so just look at the numbers. How cheap can I buy this property for? How much renovation is it going to need? What can I sell it for? And what is the absolute worst case scenario that I can sell it for? And then always give yourself a margin of safety. So something that I tell every investor is underestimate your income and overestimate your expenses. And if the numbers look good on paper when you've done that, then the investment might be worth pursuing further. Because I can tell you right now, mate, out of the thousands of deals that I've done, guess what, Ty? I have never been on budget. I'm always over budget because that's real estate, mate. That's renovating. You're always going to uncover crap that you didn't expect during the walkthrough because you can't see behind the walls, okay? And you have to spend extra. So that's a big tip for everyone out there is always underestimate your income and overestimate your costs on any property you're looking at rehabbing.
What about the rehab part? From what I've seen and understand, the network of people you build around you that helps you do that rehab is very important. What do you think? Do you do your own rehab work? Do you get a general contractor? Like, what's the key there to actually getting the work done as cheap as possible?
Great question, mate. Another great question. Just do it yourself for the first few deals. Get your hands dirty, make mistakes, paint the walls, do the demo, try and install a new partition. I mean, do it yourself. And trust me, you'll give up pretty soon because the work sucks. And you'll realize that there are other individuals out there that can do it much quicker and much better than you can. And time is money, right? So don't supplement your time because you think you're going to save $1. You're not. It's going to cost you more in the long run. Look, teamwork equals dream work. I mean, I love a little story from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, where Henry Ford took a newspaper to trial because they published an article about him being illiterate and stupid, right? And then they kind of went to trial and put him up on stand. And the opposition attorney kind of started questioning him about historical war events, which are like 200 to 300 years old, right? And he was like, why are you asking me these stupid questions? It's like, no one would remember this and no one knows this. And he said, and he pretty much told him, do you know that I have a button on my desk that I can click and summon any man to my command that can answer any one of your stupid questions? So fire away at will, because that's easy for me to do. So he pretty much told him, I'm smart enough to have smarter people around me doing the things that I can't do or don't want to do. Case was dismissed. Henry Ford won. Moral of the story, Ty, is this. Have smarter people around you doing the things that you can't do or don't want to do, right? So yes, you need a real estate agent. You need a property manager. You need an attorney. You need a title company. You need a mentor. You need a lender. You need all of these individuals or companies that are going to help you along your real estate endeavors. But for the first few transactions, there's no harm in doing it yourself, just to learn the ins and outs of what it takes to actually do a renovation on a home. What
about getting to the final part of it? And it makes, I love everything there. I think it makes a lot of sense. And if you get that done and you get to the final part, how do you go about finding the investors? Because you've got a great strategy. You go to these other areas where these investors are. I live in Florida, so it's a transient state, right? So we have a lot of foreign buyers come down here to buy properties. I don't know that much about Ohio, though, and doing the same there. So how do you go to find these potential buyers? It doesn't sound like you're just listing the property on Craigslist. It sounds like you've got kind of a sniper strategy for going out and finding people that are looking to make money and then selling to them.
Yeah, mate. So look, our business is different to, I guess what a traditional mom and pop house flipper would do. We're more of a company now with employees and systems and processes and an operation. And we've been around the block. So a lot of people know who we are. Like we've got the best reputation out of any turnkey business in the country. So we get organic leads every single month from investors looking to purchase our properties with cash and getting us to retain their property management. So it's different for us. We've been very active on podcasts, social media, blogs, forums, videos, interviews, conferences, speaking engagements. I mean, Ty, you name it, we did it, right? So over time, eventually you build that hype and buzz where people start recognizing your worth, and then they start coming to you. But look, for folks that aren't necessarily looking at doing 100 flips a year like we are, but they're looking to do 3, 4, or 5 flips a year, which, by the way, if you make 30, 40K a deal, that's a pretty handsome living. What I suggest is you can't go wrong by renovating the property better than any other comparable sale on that street and by listing it for less, okay? So look at what other properties are selling for on that street. Make sure that your renovation is better than the other houses, and then list it for the same price or a little bit less than those other houses. I am pretty confident, mate, that you're going to get the most attentions. You're going to get the most openings, as in house inspections, and you'll probably get a few offers within the first week of that property being listed. List it through the MLS. Once again, teamwork equals dreamwork. So have a good real estate agent that you've already established trust and a relationship with prior to even starting your endeavors, and get them to list the property, right? The market is kind of, I guess it's cooling off now compared to where it was. But once again, I mean, a greatly renovated property for a price that is cheaper than other houses on the street should, in my opinion, get a lot of attention, and it should sell pretty quickly. And we already said time is money. Take that profit that you've made from that transaction and go into the next, and then do as many deals as your heart desires every single year.
Yeah, I love that. Again, cast a wide net. And I think it's so important that you say that, because, everybody's looking for the silver bullet, the one thing, but you've made the same mention on buying and on selling, that it's casting a wide net. It's being everywhere. And when you do that and you do it consistently, that those opportunities then present themselves, which I think is pretty brilliant.
100%. There's no silver bullet, Ty. Jesus. There's no silver bullet. I mean, it took me 1.5 years to sell my first property, mate, when I started my company. You know what I mean? And what was I doing for the first 1.5 years? Everything and anything. Dude, sending out newsletters, posting on Craigslist, posting on social media, doing videos, writing blogs, speaking engagements. I said it, posting on forums. I mean, it takes time. All good things take time. So there's no one thing that's going to work. Now, I will tell you this, mate. When you get to a stage kind of where we are, I think it's called the Pareto principle, the 20-80 rule, okay, where 20% of your efforts deliver 80% of the results. Okay, I think it's called the Pareto principle. Once you do cast that wide net and you've tried a lot of different things, you will figure out which things work the best for you, right? And that's what you double down on or triple down on, or just focus most of your attention on those things. But when you're first starting out, mate, no, you need to give everything a shot, and you need to cast that wide net for sure.
What about particular areas in the country to buy? Are certain geographical areas better, or certain states better? I mean, you went to Ohio. You're from Australia, right? You're in Italy right now. Like, it's so random you would choose Toledo, Ohio. I was stationed in Ohio. People don't voluntarily go there typically, right? So not to say anything bad about all the people from Ohio listening. It's just a joke. But honestly, where do you know? Like, what made you hone in on that city and that state? And does it make sense for everybody to kind of be buying stuff all over? Should they find something in their local area, their states to avoid? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great question, mate. I've got some alarm going off here, Ty. I'm not sure what it is. Bloody
you
Italy.
See a fire. That's
bloody Italy, mate. I'm telling you, these Italians are crazy here. They're swearing, they're cursing, mate. Here's a tip for everyone. Everyone listening: do not drive in Italy. Okay. Look, mate. I love the Midwest. I think I always have and I always will. There's just a lot of tertiary markets here that stay under the radar. The hedge funds don't like them because they can't sell a sexy prospectus. There's really just not that much population growth and infrastructure happening here where you're going to have a lot of foreign investors wanting to buy a trophy property or come and live, like the San Frans, like the New Yorks and some of the other markets, right? Look, mate, I've made millions in Toledo, Ohio. Okay, I'm the biggest fish in the pond, Ty. We've kind of got a monopoly in town. We know the city inspectors. We know everybody. And things just work really well for us there. The profit margins are great. Our investors get a good return on investment. We've kind of got it figured out. So, look, I'm a big believer in the Midwest. I love Indiana. I love Michigan. I love Ohio. I'm a black sheep. I'm not a white sheep. I don't follow the herd because they eventually get slaughtered. The profit margins in these three states are ridiculous. Okay, so, I'll give you an example, mate. You probably, in Florida, you'll probably have to fork out $500,000 and do a flip and you might make 30, 40 grand, okay? I wouldn't get out of bed for that kind of return on investment, no offense, but we in Ohio, we can fork out 50 to 100 grand and make $50,000 profit. So it's just an absolute no-brainer, mate. For a lot less capital, you're making a larger profit from a percentage standpoint. If I was anyone in Florida right now or in Australia, I would move my ass to Ohio, mate, because, it just makes a lot of sense from a profit standpoint. It might not make sense from a lifestyle standpoint, but look, we have to make sacrifices in life to get to where we want to be. I'm in Italy right now. Sono italiano, un po' parla italiano. Okay, I'm trying to learn Italian, mate. I probably butchered that, but anyway. So, the world is your oyster. Move to where you can make the most sense from a profit standpoint for a business or for you personally. And then once you have achieved a certain level of success, capital, passive income, whatever it is, then you can go and live wherever the hell you want, right?
Engelo, what about type of properties to buy? It sounds like, and you mentioned this earlier, everything from multifamily to single family. It sounds like you've bought a little bit of everything. So how do you hone in on whether you should buy a condo or a townhome or whether you should buy an actual single family residence or an apartment building? Do you have a preference there and why?
Yeah, mate, check this out. There's nothing wrong with any piece of real estate as long as the price is right. There's your answer, okay? But I've said it before. Start off slow and start off small. So don't think you're Donald Trump and don't start buying casinos or commercial properties or large multifamily complexes. Start off with a single family home, a small single family home in a rougher part of town. Buy it for as cheap as you can. You make money when you buy, guys, not when you sell. Okay, so you have to buy dirt cheap. Be patient and negotiate really hard. Start off like that. Do the least amount of work that you possibly can, meaning don't buy a property that needs full-blown structural renovation, just something that you can get in and out as quickly as possible. Paint always adds more perceived value than the cost, right? So paint is a great way of, adding that perceived value to a property and getting a good return on investment when you look at selling. But that would kind of be my best tip, mate. I have just now started doing multifamily deals and commercial. After 1,000 transactions, dude, 10 years in the business. And guess what? I lost my ass on the first 5. We lost a lot of money on the first 5 multifamily deals because it's a different type of animal. It's a different investment vehicle, So it takes time to master a specific niche, to master a trade. But, once again, start off slow and start off small.
Yeah, but you're really mapping out a very specific strategy here, right? You've got to have a wide net when buying and selling. You really need to figure out the area that you're going to buy in, and you really need to be in that area. The Midwest is a great area to actually be in. You've given a lot of very specific strategy on how to accomplish this, even the niche part of it you just mentioned. Find the niche, find what you want to do. And as you said, sit there for a long time until you master that niche before you even think about venturing it out. And even 10 years in real estate and 1,000+ transactions, you're still losing your butt when you move to another niche because you've got to relearn that. So invaluable advice. Now, what about fix and flip, buy and hold? Because I'm sure you've done both, and now you've found investors and ways to sell easier. But how do you know? Do you still do some of each? And how do you know buy and sell or buy and hold or fix or flip?
Great question, mate. Look, I guess a rule of thumb per se would be, look, the end game for real estate investing should always be about passive income, okay? And it should always be about cash flow. As in, you can't live off the equity in a property, okay? You can, but that's not a smart idea. As in refinancing out of a home that's appreciated in value, or that you've manufactured the growth by doing a renovation, because you eventually have to pay that loan back. So ultimately, you want to get to a level where you buy and hold enough properties that are producing enough passive income so you can live the life that you want to live. Now, the thing there is, mate, is most of us are limited to how much capital we have, and money makes money, okay? So we have to stay active with the capital that we have. So my advice to listeners would be this: buy, fix, and flip, buy, fix, and flip, buy, fix, and flip. Okay, so do 3 buy, fix, and flips, and then the 4th one, buy, fix, and hold. Okay, it all depends on what market you're in. It all depends on how much capital you have at your disposal. So there are various factors. The average median house price in Manhattan is $1 million. In Ohio, it's 120 grand or whatever it is. Okay, so every market has its different price points. So I'm mostly talking about the Midwest, right? So I believe that when you do 3 buy, fix, and flips, the 4th buy, fix, and hold, you should have enough capital lying around where you can comfortably set and forget that particular investment and still have enough capital to continue buying, fixing, and flipping. And then, Ty, it just comes down to how much money you need, right? Is it $5,000 per month in passive income? Is it $10,000 per month in passive income? When you want to achieve that end goal, is it 10 years from now? Based off the end goal and how much passive income you want every single month, that will dictate how many properties you are going to need to buy, fix, and flip in order to buy, fix, and hold, and then how many properties you're going to need to buy, fix, and hold with that rent giving you the monthly cash flow that you need to live happily ever after, right? So that's kind of in a nutshell. I hope that made sense. I try to simplify it as much as possible.
No, that's fantastic strategy. What about capital? You've talked about this multiple times in what you just said. What are some ways you found that are the best and most, some of the others that are creative ways to get the capital you need to either get started or to continue to grow a scaling business here?
Say that again, mate. I lost you there for a second. Sorry.
How do you get the money? How do you get the money you need to do this? What are some of the strategies you've used to actually get the money to do either the buy and hold or the fix and flip?
Great question, mate. So look, I did it in a very unorthodox way. And that was, I worked 2 jobs and I ate crap for 3 years to save enough money and buy my first property. Okay. I made a lot of mistakes when I first started because I was borrowing a lot of money and I was just adding quantity to my portfolio. So doing that, I was losing more on my monthly mortgage repayments than I was actually getting from the rent. And that's a recipe for disaster, right? Real estate should make our life easier and should make us work less, not have to work more to cover the losses. So, look, my advice is going to be very, very harsh and very hard. I've seen way too many people that are lazy. They get caught up in easy money. They're not experienced, and then they go out and borrow a ton of money, and then they make a lot of mistakes and they get burnt and they quit, right? I think that everyone should prove to themselves that they can be frugal, that they can resist going for dinner and drinks on the weekend and save every single penny. I think they should start off in a market where the entry price is very low and do the first transactions with cash, because I think you want to be the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. By doing all cash, you kind of control the direction you want to go in, and you can be very quick when it comes to closing a transaction. Once you have gained the experience and you have proved to yourself that you can work and save the capital and go into the first few buy, fix, and flips, and the first few buy, fix, and holds with cash. And once you understand the beat of your portfolio, okay? Because I can tell you right now, mate, if you think it's not going to happen to you, it is going to happen to you. You will have to evict. Tenants will not pay the rent, and you will get screwed over by business partners. So you always have to base everything you do on the worst case scenario. So you have to have a couple of years of experience to understand the beat of your portfolio. Then, and only then, should you go and start to use leverage and borrow money to supercharge the growth of your portfolio. There is nothing wrong with leverage if you know how to use it. I'm just sick and tired of seeing inexperienced and rookie investors seeing a podcast or listening to a podcast, watching a TV flipping show or reading a blog, and now they think they're experts. Dude, I'm still not an expert, Ty. I still lose money to this day. But I understand the flow of my portfolio, of my company. I know how much is too much, and I know how much I can borrow if I want to borrow and if I need to borrow. But look, money's everywhere, dude. Like, if money is everywhere, you're just going to have a hard time getting it if you don't know what you're doing. So that's another reason why you should do it all yourself with your own capital, build that resume of success. And then like, dude, now, oh man, there are so many people throwing money at me. It's ridiculous. They want to do a joint venture. They want to give me unsecured lines of credit. They want to give me this. They want to give me that, but we've got a proven track record and it takes years to get there.
Angelo, you hit on a few of them, but as we get ready to wrap up, what are some of the other big mistakes that you see investors make?
You got me on the spot there, mate. Big mistakes that I see investors make. Where do I go with this?
Because you've definitely hit on several of them, right? People overextend themselves, people that get into this and think that it's easy, right? People that, are spreading themselves too thin and they're not focusing on one niche. So you definitely hit on some. Any others that we've kind of left out?
I'm trying to give you some variety.
I know. I'm just stalling for you. That's all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Some other mistakes, mate. Okay, well, look, one that has been really pissing me off for a while now, and that is I see a lot of beginner investors getting spooked by a lot of these supposed gurus selling various programs, masterminds, courses. I mean, dude, you name it. It's just a big scam. And I'll tell you why it's a scam, Ty. If someone is so good at doing it, why would they sell you on how to do it instead of just going out and doing it themselves? Because you're obviously going to make more money doing it yourself than you are selling someone else on how to do it. That's just my philosophy. Like, dude, I don't want to sell my knowledge. I use my knowledge to go and make a shitload of money with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to write a mastermind or sell courses or whatever it is. Anyway, so I see a lot of investors thinking that that's the holy grail. Buying these seminars, attending these expensive masterminds, when all of the information is free online. Jump on Google, listen to this podcast, like binge on YouTube, get on the online real estate forums. There's a wealth of knowledge out there, mate, that is free. And then, practice makes perfect. Much book smart that can get, and really kind of have to just get out there and do it yourself and learn on your mistakes. So that would be something that, off the top of my head, mate, I mean, I could go on for hours about a lot of mistakes that I've made and I see others make, but, just summarizing what you already said, it's definitely not going to be as easy as it's portrayed. And just get ready for an absolute roller coaster of a ride. I'm big on, sorry, mate, I'm going to shut up now. I'm big on philosophy at the moment. I'm studying a lot of Stoicism. I'm reading Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, Musonius Rufus, Cato, Zeno, all of those greats. And one thing, I think it was Marcus Aurelius that he said, wake up every morning and tell yourself, I'm going to get screwed today. I'm going to get lied to, cheated. People are going to be arrogant. And as long as you prepare yourself for that in the morning, it's not going to be a surprise once it happens. And I can pretty much tell you right now, mate, it will happen. That's life. That's people. And you just have to deal with it and accept it and keep moving forward.
So how can everybody that's listening and watching tap more into your knowledge base? We just scratched the surface on many things. Where should they go to be able to get more information? And the second question is, how do they access your new book, The Raw Truth to Success in Real Estate?
Yeah, mate, look, so just jump on Google. Google's your best friend, right? Google Engelo Rumora. I don't sell anything except my book. So buy my book. No, look, I've got hundreds of online videos, thousands of posts on the real estate forum, Bigger Pockets. What else? I've done 300 plus blogs, ton of free content, a lot of resources, just my life's work. And the Raw Truth to Success, mate, just got a publisher on board yesterday. So super excited about that, dude. I mean, humbled. Here I am, quit school at the age of 14, and I'm going to be a published author. Like, what the hell? How is that possible? Anyway, so that's going to be coming out. It's going to be the most controversial real estate investment book. Very motivational, very inspirational, rude and raw. I'm excited about it. Just wait for the book. And I'd love your support. Even if you don't buy it, I don't care. Just post about it, say how cool it is or something. I don't know.
I appreciate it. Angelo, thanks for coming on with us today all the way from Italy.
Thanks for having me, mate.
All right, so everybody listening, watching, ohiocashflow.com is where you can go to get to Angelo. And I'm going to put some other links to his other things that he mentioned, some other different ways of accessing his social channels and other information he has out there on the show resources page as well. You can always go to creditsuite.com/podcast to access his actual show resources page. But in the meantime, you can visit ohiocashflow.com to learn more. Really cool guy, really unique strategies. And he's not one of these guys that's out there trying to sell you on a course that you need to take to be able to tap into his knowledge base. He's got so much great and free information out there. So make sure you visit ohiocashflow.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.